Perfect. There we go. All right, cool guys. Hey, we're gonna get rolling here. We got Deemer on again today. Really excited to have him on for second session. So I know a lot of you guys were here for the first one. Excited to go over some of the stuff. He's got kind of a throwback video with Duke when he was at Duke, and obviously he'll talk about that. But they had a ton of success running this, and it's a really interesting style offense, and I think it's a great to get a different perspective. So I'm going to turn it over to Deemer, and thanks again for being on here, buddy.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks so much for having me, fellas. Hope everyone's doing well. Staying patient, staying safe, but really, really excited to be back on here with you guys. For you guys that were on here last time, pumped to see you guys again. And for you guys that are, you didn't catch me last time, but you're on this time. Appreciate you guys taking the time to hop on and hopefully pick up a couple more nuggets that you guys can walk away with. Whether you're on one of the younger teams in the program or one of the older ones. So I think it's cool to see some kind of simple concepts be executed at the college level, and especially as a lot of us that's our goal, is to kind of get there and play. So really excited to be on with you guys. We'll get right to it. If you have questions, just drop them in the chat at any time, especially if they're relevant to the clip. Ask away, and I'll address them right away. And then also, if anything's choppy, I apologize, just with like the internet and stuff like that. But also, this clip here, you can find this on YouTube. There's obviously no like voiceover commentary to it, but we're going to go through it here. So this is my sophomore year against Notre Dame in the championship. These are a lot of our clips in a pairs offense. So we're not going to go through every one, but for the ones that I want to kind of stop and go through, we'll get into it. So really excited to dig in with you guys. All right. So kind of playing here, low time in the quarter. Is that oh, there we go. So, all right, so fellas, so one thing that I really like talking about when it comes to the two-man game, all right, is refusing the pick. All right, so sometimes you don't have to use the pick, but the thought of that pick can get that defender thinking. So Miles does a really nice job up here with the ball. When Jordan Wolf comes to set an up pick, we call it a Utah pick. You guys probably have your own terminology for it, but coming upfield to set this pick, he does a nice little right-to-right split and doesn't use this action. And then on the backside, what you notice, all right, is that this defender right here for Notre Dame, all right, is pre-rotated or pre-slid. So on the backside, it's so important that we communicate and we work together, or that at least we're not letting two guys cover the same guy. Sorry, one guy cover two guys. So what Christian Walsh does a great job doing here is that instead of standing out in this space and letting this guy split both of us, he actually comes down here, all right, and he seals, right, the outside of this this defensive midi right here. So he gets going. All right, you can see he seals that defender. The slide comes, and then Miles does a nice job of hitting a simple single pass or a forward, adjacent. And then I'm here just presenting my target, getting myself to a spot where I can be a threat. And then that allows me to step in, and they're slow to rotate off the base. And again, like when you're on the backside, our movement is so important. So, you can exchange the two guys. You can do a seal, a backside seal like Christian does there. For me, you can high-low it. There's different options, but we got to be doing something to occupy the backside and be ready to take advantage. So that was a nice example there. Well, near side finish on a righty goalie. So as we rewind here, all right, now early possession in the second quarter. Now we have a little more of a, a wing pick action. So instead of a down pick or an up pick, now we're right along 10 yards. And what I really like about this is it gives the Dodger a two-way go, meaning the Dodger can dodge to the top side or it can dodge underneath. Jordan has a long stick here, so you'll notice that he doesn't actually set really a hard pick on the ball, but he kind of just, gets up behind him and then slips. Miles works the middle of the field. They do a nice job of rotating there. He gets off an okay shot, but he is at, about 10 yards in the middle of the field. So even though that's early in the possession, still a pretty solid look. And again, especially, as I'm sure you guys are thinking about, part of this is the game within the game. So as the game progresses over time, you have to take information from early on in the game and how the defense is playing you to then try and execute and beat them later on. So we have to be constantly taking notes about what they're doing in our heads so that we can be ready to execute. So here we're kind of getting into a little bit of a weave action, and we cause the defense to kind of, react here. So, the first action is just a little down pick here, come off of it to the middle of the field. Miles cuts to the crease. And then again, now we're getting the defense rotating. And a little catch and pop here. So again, we'll watch it one more time. And again, like what we really loved about our pairs offense is that, especially when we're working hard, especially for you box guys, you talk about getting to the middle of the field, right? You see more net, there's more angle to shoot. That's really, a lot of times causes defenses to react and overreact. And even here now, we see Jordan Wolf get into the middle of the field, even though he's at 15 yards, probably a little out of Jordan's, high percentage range. Two guys still shoot to him. They make a mistake. And then Miles does a nice job with his chest to the ball, ready to catch and fire. And Jordan does a nice job. If you watch here, watch how he steps away from pressure to free his hands. Nice pass right on the stick, allowing Miles to kind of catch and fire. Here we just have a little advantage coming out of the box. Don't believe we really get much out of this, but again, we're starting to kind of free flow a little bit. We start to balance up. So I'll rewind here. So again, that first goal, that I showed you guys, we talked about that backside seal. And it kind of happens again here. And I actually remember this play because I remember being frustrated because I had so much time just because the defense kind of got confused on their rotation. So, usually Christian Walsh and myself are the lefties playing on the left side, and then Miles and Jordan were playing the righties on the right side. But, part of it is about just being ready to free flow, and kind of just be ready whether you're on your strong side or your weak side to work off your teammate. As Jordan gets to the middle of the field, again, notice Miles does a really nice job, all right, of not standing outside, not being a threat. He comes down here, sets a little seal. All right, and then now you can see this defensive confusion. I think number 22 is expecting that number 6, the long pole, was going to bump out. But again, they kind of have a little confusion. I'm catching it loaded. I'm just around 11 yards. And again, this is one I remember wanting back. I just sailed it high. But again, just being ready to attack, being ready to take advantage of different situations. One thing that, because we run pairs a lot with my girls offense at USC, and even you can see at times in this video, one thing we really like to emphasize from the start is getting wide and starting from a wide amount of space, so just so you have more room to operate. And then we want to collapse and condense the defense. So here's another nice example, all right, of getting to the middle of the field. Now again, what I think could be better here, and again, this is where, kind of looking back, you can think about your technique. Jordan, especially for setting up the pick for your young guy, this is really important. As he's waiting for Christian to come set the pick, watch how he's drifting downfield. That's going to pull his defender down and give him more space to attack to the top side. If you have the ball in your stick and you're waiting for someone to come and set a pick for you, I really like to think about occupying your defender. If you're just standing there and waiting for the pick, kind of telling everyone that that pick's going to come. So you got to set up the pick for the picker. And Jordan does a nice job of occupying here. Drags him down, sets up his right-to-right split over the top. And then here, when he gets his hands free, I think if Jordan bears down to the net a little more and runs right at 38, he's going to get to a better spot to shoot and not be fading, but also he's going to be more likely to really get these defenders to commit, and he might be able to hit me or a throwback a little more. Because again, just like the goal that I scored and the shot that I sailed high, this guy is kind of in no man's land here, right? And this outside guy is helping in on Miles. So, there's some opportunities here. But again, he misses the cage, we run it out, we're still playing offense. Another little wing pick here. It's an example of a little re-pick. Now we're kind of flowing back and forth. Being patient, working the offense. We didn't have a shot clock back when we were playing, and not that we play extremely slow, but some of these possessions in this game got really long, so it's really a battle. Right, so that's really over a minute and a half possession there with just that one shot from Jordan. And I'm going to rewind it a little bit. I want to show you a couple of concepts here. So right now, all right, our righty Jordan is up top with a short stick, and I'm out here with a long pole. And so knowing my teammate and understanding that he wants to get to his strength, I can't stand out here and just occupy space. So I have to either go pick for him or I have to be ready to clear through. And so I end up kind of running, what we call a little snap or a shallow cut. All right, so I cut through here. They slide quick off of me. They recover, they balance up. Now we swing it, we switch fields. Train, do you know where all these things are coming from?
Sometimes it just will record it if you move it around. So if you showed this before and saved it, it might be on there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sometimes it'll track the mouse depending on what your setting is.
Got it. So then right here, going back to what we were talking about before with refusing the pick, after you run pairs a few times, defenses, I think, start to anticipate especially getting that middle of the field. So what Christian does a nice job here is when I pass down and come to set a pick, he catches his defender, over committing. And then as he gets underneath, he ends up drawing 2 slides. All right. So obviously, that's a little bit of a mistake, but this is where the confusion comes into play. They slide quick off of me. They slide quick off of the base. And Kyle Keenan does a nice job here of following that slide, being ready for help. And then Christian does a nice job of hitting me on the throwback here. Stepping in, ready to fire. And again, when we talk about those long possessions, just about being ready to execute and take advantage of mistakes. Do we have any questions so far? And so fellas, what we like to think about when we talk about pairs, meaning our pairs offense, generally what we're talking about is 2-man games on different sides of the field. So if I can get a good look at it here. All right, so I'll freeze it right here. So we typically have 2 attackmen, one sitting on each pipe. So you see down here. And then we have a 2-man game on each side of the field. So we'll have a ball side 2-man game, and we'll have a backside 2-man game. And so that's our pair on the backside. This is our pair on the ball side. And then we've got our third pair, if you will, are these 2 guys down here. So it's 2, 2, and 2. All right. And we like to really initiate from the pairs above the cage, but it just depends on the offense. It doesn't mean that you can't initiate with the 2 guys behind as well. But our team that year, we really had, 4 players across the top that we felt confident in kind of initiating our pairs. So we work on ball 2-man games, and then we work on the backside as well. So here, and again, this is kind of late in the second quarter, we talk about making some adjustments. Here we were certainly trying to get in what we call a weave look, where we start to work together across the top. So we come off of it, I get it out of my stick quick. We start attacking the pass, and we're trying to cause confusion. All right, and we actually get a decent look here, but it just ends up kind of being a high-to-high shot. I don't think Miles got all of his power on it, in terms of really driving off of his back foot. But this is the confusion we talk about going from side to side. And now, instead of the pairs, the 2 players on one side working together and the 2 players on the opposite side working together, now everyone's kind of flowing together, and we become interchangeable or positionless. So we're all working across the top, and then we eventually can balance back up. But one of the keys to this, fellas, is having really quick ball movement. There's going to be times where you want to pick and re-pick, but it's also really key that we flip the fields fast, meaning we fire the ball to the opposite side and we don't over carry it. And fellas, like I said, if you have questions so far, you want to go back and look at one of these clips, ask away, because this is for you guys to kind of keep helping your lacrosse IQ and understanding.
Hey, Deemer, can you talk a little bit? Can you talk a little bit about some of the rules that you guys have? For instance, you're talking about 2 men working together. So, when we're talking about the ball carrier having the ball in a stick, and he's working with that immediate, in this clip, you're looking at, that immediate midfielder attackman that's directly in front of him. What are some rules that you have as a ball carrier, and what are some rules you have as the guy looking to set the pick?
Yeah, definitely. So, for us, as the ball carrier, we want to be, aggressive in attacking our matchup, but, we're also trying to work together, so, letting like in these situations, a lot of times Jordan had a long stick. So, Miles has the ability to dodge over the top or dodge underneath, and kind of initiate the offense. On the flip side, Jordan wants to set that pick, but, when we have long poles covering the picker, there were times where, we wouldn't necessarily always set a hard pick. And I think that was, like here you see, he kind of sets a pick maybe to the top side, but he's giving Miles a lot of space to dodge underneath. All right. So now here he draws a slide, in terms of a rule, either moving it or, can he work his matchup a little bit and kind of re-dodge? So that was kind of, our focus, on the backside. Our rule, like I mentioned just kind of earlier, was we had to be, moving and working together and just making sure that we were separated. We weren't standing next to each other, allowing one defender to cover two of us. So for kind of our main focuses. And then as we played together more and more throughout the year, we all got really comfortable with each other's strengths and anticipating what our teammate wanted to do. And then that allowed us to, quickly play off of each other. So Miles was, pretty nice and aggressive here, working that short stick. And so like here, for example, I kind of end up passing and exchanging. I'm not setting a hard pick, but it's kind of a tough angle here. But this is where, so this is kind of a nice example of a repick. So if we don't get anything off of the initial action, we would typically like to, set another pick and play again on that same side. And that was just a way for us to make sure that, we were making the defense actually work. Sometimes it's easy to give the ball up quick. And that's part of kind of understanding the flow of the ball and understanding the defense is playing us. But you see Notre Dame's doing a really nice job here on this possession, and it's pretty tiring both ways. Miles is starting to work that matchup. But a player on our team that really helped a lot of our offense go was Christian Walsh. And, again, this is a very subtle play, guys, and this isn't even something that, many reporters or anyone will talk about. But watch how quickly Christian flips the fields with this pass. So you can see that Jordan, myself, and Christian are all on the ball side, and Miles has a one-on-one on the backside. When Christian comes off this pick, look how quickly he gets that ball out of his stick. And now Miles has all this space to operate over here. So just being, unselfish in the sense of, knowing when to work the pick side versus firing it over to a teammate and letting him attack on the backside is big. And it's hard because there isn't always a hard and fast rule, but it's understanding when the defense is committed here. I think we could have done a better job on the backside, moving and working together when Miles was posting up. Again, solid save, but Miles was doing a good job of getting to the middle of the field and being a threat. So, guys, another term that we often would use a lot is a mirror. And a mirror meaning instead of setting a hard pick on either side or a pick and slip on either side of the defender, we would line up even with the dodger, and whichever side the dodger went to, we would pop opposite. And that was a way, kind of right here, you kind of see. So when we talk about a mirror situation, you have a ball carrier and you have this mirror. And a lot of times the mirror is someone who's covered by a pole, just because now this pole number 4 has to decide whether he wants to slide or hedge to that short stick matchup. So Miles does a nice job getting to the middle of the field. He gets this guy to commit. He throws back to Jordan, and now the defense is rotating. We don't get anything out of it. We keep possession. But now we're able to work. So here's where we're going to really point out the importance, all right, of guys not standing together. All right, so I make a move and I roll back on this lefty side, and I want you to look at these two guys up top here. So by standing next to each other, there's no one for me to move the ball too quickly to take advantage of this double team. All right, if Christian maybe filled or followed over the top, or one of them cut to the crease, now I would have two options, and this defender would have to make a decision versus, just now they're standing next to each other and there's no one for me to throw the ball to. So that allows Notre Dame to slide, kill my dodging momentum, and then now we have to swing it back out to the top of the box, and we have to reset. But again, we swing the ball, we work the short stick matchup, the defender whiffs. Miles probably could have carried in a couple more yards there, but we're still getting good opportunities. We're getting to the middle of the field. Another mirror situation off the wing. Now we start to weave a little bit. So fellas, one thing that we like to talk about a lot in pairs is attacking the pass. All right, and attacking the pass is effective because it leads us right into our weave opportunities. And the reason it works is because I want you to look at right here. Okay, we have two players for Notre Dame that are both staring at the ball. And while they're staring at the ball, I start moving in the direction of the ball carrier. And now as they turn their heads to find me, I'm already attacking towards the middle of the field. So attacking the pass is a simple little concept that I always found helped us in the situation. And now they're behind. One guy kind of runs into Miles on the weave. And now that gets this defender to commit. And Jordan's in a spot where he can step in and be a threat. So we didn't score on this one. But this is really good action in terms of getting our teammates hands-free across the top. He might have even had a one more pass. We rewind. Maybe he has a one more to Case Mathias on the pipe. But it's good movement. We draw some good slides. And we get the defense rotating. All right, and that's what you ask for, and then eventually you got to hit some shots. Another little mirror situation. We get into a weave. Aggressive on ball. And this was one of the bigger goals of the game at a crucial time in the fourth quarter. You know, we were up 6-1 on Notre Dame. They come storming back. All right. And so we're going to freeze it here. So now this is where, you know, some of our pair situations can kind of lend itself to some one-on-one dodging. And so Jordan gets a nice short stick matchup. He dodges underneath, and then he does a nice little hesitation to freeze the slot. So I'm gonna show you at a different angle. Miles protects his stick. So now, all right, we'll just take a look here. You know, we've got an opportunity for pairs to work with Jordan, but since Jordan has a short stick, we don't feel the need to go set a pick for him to get his hands free. We like Jordan one-on-one in space, and so we let that happen there. We've got our backside teammate on the pipe, and we've got number 9 here, Case Mathias, ready to follow. This defender, number 4 for Notre Dame, is the only guy that's in a good position to slide if Jordan goes underneath. So now, as he starts to go, you can see number 4 starts to hedge. He's ready to commit to the slide. Now, what he kind of does here is Jordan changes speeds. So for any of you, I think we talked about it last time when we mentioned some of the re-dodging. You know, it's something that we talk about a lot. But since Jordan's eyes are up and he changes speeds, Jordan could easily make this pass to number 9. So number 4 is, you know, has to respect that. And as Jordan hesitates, again, he does a really nice job of hesitating. Then it allows him to attack this gap right in the middle here. He protects his stick. Right, really nice finish through traffic. Hesitation, protect. All right, and finishes with authority. Even there, you kind of see the ball popping out of his stick as he swats it in. But sometimes, you know, we have the action where it's very scripted and we want to get a down pick or an up pick or a pick off of a wing. But it's also, we have to be able to make plays. We have to work off of each other. We have to kind of read and react to different situations.
That's great, Deemer. That's good stuff. I mean, I don't know if you just want to take some questions.
Yeah. I mean, that pretty much wraps up a majority of our possessions there. But I would love to take some questions from you guys and interact any way I can. But hopefully you see how there's a couple different options, you know, of things that we can do out of the pairs. I have one question about, you know, shooting with a tennis ball in a basement or shooting with a tennis ball in general, if that would help. I haven't done a lot of, you know, a lot of shooting with the tennis ball. I found the tennis ball to be really helpful in terms of working on soft hands and receiving it. But if that's all you have in your situation, you got to make the most of it. I think also, especially working on your finishing and your different fakes, I think that's a great opportunity as well. How did you guys look to break down the defense as a team? So that's a great question. One thing Notre Dame does really well is they do a really good job of playing team defense. They do a really good job of kind of supporting and hedging, you know, to the ball and kind of playing, you know, a man and a half, you know, at times. And so we felt like we had success with them in the regular season with the pairs because we would work the ball side. And then when they would pre-rotate on the backside, you know, we were ready to swing the ball quickly across the top. So we found that to be helpful. And then like you saw in some of those clips, when they started to anticipate our movements, i.e. getting to the middle of the field, that's when we were able to read that and maybe dodge back underneath. And so that we weren't just being robots and always going to the top side. So I think that was something that, really helped us in terms of our attack. And then just, again, being ready to make plays, having the confidence to take shots from different spots, and execute some efficient ball movement. Because if you don't move the ball well against Notre Dame, things get really stagnant.
Cool. Any other questions there? Or that was probably it, huh? Well, great stuff, Deemer, man. I really appreciate putting the time in. So we appreciate having you on, and hopefully, guys, hopefully if things go well, depending on how things shake out, Deemer's coming to town again in July. We're hosting him at the Rack. Really excited to have him out. So hopefully you guys will get the opportunity to come and work with him.
Yeah, appreciate you having me on. And, fellas, let me know any way I can help you guys. Stay safe, and hope you enjoyed tonight. And hope to see you out this summer getting some work in.
All right, buddy. We'll see you.
Awesome. Have a great night.
Thank you. Bye.